Can anyone tell me? He's fighting the logo? And there's a weird liquid coming the sword? Hey, what up? It is me, mattmcmuscles, and I'll be your skeleton guy again for the evening. I'm sorry you've all wound up here spending time with me, because today we're going to be looking at video game magazine covers, because some are truly iconic, from out the ages to the 80s to the 90s and into the 2000s, and then it kind of just stops, because then we start using pre-authorized renders of characters. But in the earlier days, you saw some wild crap. Like it was all over the place. There were professional artists, amateur artists, and everything in between. So I thought it'd be fun to look back on a few of them. Now a lot of them are going to be fighting games, because again, the 90s fighting games kind of the shit back then. So I thought we would start with the old reliable Game Pro and this radioactive child. I don't even know what this is. Incredible, amazing, blow your mind. Okay, it's just the mind is being blown. Everyone's getting blown here. It's incredible. He has some type of Hypnotoad style power and possibly too many teeth. And of course, we have an exclusive Universal Pictures The Wizard. I remember when I used to watch that movie every time I'd go to California. So we have Rolling Thunder, Dynamite Ducks, The Last Battle, and Alien Crush. This is like we don't even have games in this. We just, your mind will be blown, your shirt will melt into your skin, and you will become some horrible RoboCop-esque toxic waste man. So good luck with that, kids. I will say this is a very trippy and sort of well done piece of art, so I can't fault Game Pro for, going crazy and swinging for the fences with this one. Alright, Game Pro, once again, not even sure what this is supposed to be. We have the T1000 melting into a CD and a baseballman coming out of what looks like the Nintendo DS somehow. Ninjas, warriors, and whatever this Mega Man wannabe. I don't understand this leg. Very shiny, but there's some charm here. I'm not gonna lie. Deja Vu, Magician, Gremlins 2, DJ Boy, Superstar Soldier, Mickey Mouse. It's like Game Pro did not get the rights to show video game characters yet. Like actual licensed ones. They're like, Mega Ninja Boy Man and just Dio the Sword? And Wrath of Black Manta, I suppose. But yeah, not bad. In these early days of Game Pro, 1991, I mean, there are lots of notable video games by then, but they're going the safe route, I guess. And I like this cover, not gonna lie to you. Alright, there's the blue blur. He's just so happy because he just finished rubbing some poop onto his chest. This is, I feel like this is someone that looked at Sonic for about a second, maybe 3 seconds, and said, yeah, no, I got it. This is also 1981, so that's interesting, but I don't know what's going on. Sonic is doing a Sonic shuffle here. He has so many footprints. I'm not sure if that's supposed to be like dust, but that kind of looks like motion prints from his feet. Like he is tap dancing his way into this cover. Do you want to know how Sonic got these scars, these smile scars? They're incredible in the fact that they look so painful. At the end of the day, for an early picture of Sonic, you'd expect kind of worse. They almost got it, but he's got some problems. New for the Genesis, will he leave Mario in the dust? As we all know, Sonic continues to have the best platform video games, and Mario is indeed always in the dust. Bad news for Nintendo. I don't think they're going to make it out of this console war the victor, sadly. Yeah, hell yeah! We're going back in time to 1990 over here. Again, we don't know if we're allowed to show video games, so what we do have is hot licks, cool moves. Improve your action with these radical tips and tactics. We won't tell you for what games, though. You figure that out. We have the links. We got links, tips. So what are we actually looking at? We were looking at an android. I guess transhumanism is this is the real cyberpunk here, because that is clearly a human-like face, and they've just augmented themselves with all these things from Seraph Industries, I guess. And the skateboard, it seems to me like the guitar is either hooked into nothing or hooked into this creature's leg. And I don't know what is going on with the hoofs over here. Again, a pretty wild picture, but not drawn terribly. It certainly catches the eye. What we got? Snake's Revenge, Psycho Fox. Is that where this is from? Ninja Gaiden 2, Atomic Robo Kid, and Bonk's Adventure. And you can blast them with your Game Boy in Space Invaders. Again, not sure why they weren't going for, iconic video game characters. You have a couple here. You could have had Ryu, you could have had Snake, you could have had Psycho Fox. But GamePro is surprisingly doing well on the art front, even though it's not really related. Alright, well, moving on from GamePro, we have SWAT. Wait, no, it is GamePro. It's GamePro's Secret Weapons and Tactics Guide. Never heard of this before. I've never heard of this dude. Who the hell is this? You know what this looks like? This doesn't look like Mega Man from any Mega Man game. It big vibes from Mega Man, Green Mega Man from Captain N, the video game master. Rush looks fine. Rush looks cute. But we're just shooting lava at this point, right? It's not great. Is it the worst Mega Man picture ever made? No. But it's certainly not the best. And Dr. Wowie's fortress here, very tiny. Is it Dr. Wowie's fortress for ants? The perspective is a little off, I feel, but other than that, this is for Mega Man 3. Again, in the early days, it seemed like, video game magazines rarely got official, high quality, high res for the time, promotional images from game publishers yet. Like, it was still a new thing, and this is testament to that. Actually, as a whole piece of art, Mega Man, or whoever this guy is, certainly pops, and Rush is okay, so I gotta give it a pass. Alright, so this is Chun-Li. Guile looks fine. Good even. And I kind of get it. They're almost like trying to emulate what they sort of look like in the games. And Ryu's not even that bad, but this reminds me of those weird renders of when Street Fighter characters were getting polygonized in Street Fighter EX. It even reminds me of Street Fighter EX a little bit and how kind of polygonish they are, but this Chun-Li's gotta go. She's seen some shit. Hair's all mussed up, Chun-Li. It's not good. This arm isn't even supposed to be blue at this point. Stops before that. But yeah, Guile's fine. They have the no-brow thing going, which is good. Not quite green here, so I'm not sure what they're going with there. The awesome Street Fighter 2 and Arcade Survival Guide, and the Capcom 92 preview. Good year. We also had Contra 3, Super Adventure Island, and of course Heavy Nova, the best Genesis game. But as for an early Street Fighter 2 cover, it's not bad. And, there's kind of a street texture there, and someone's been hitting it, so that's accurate, I guess. Okay. GamePro, I guess we're moving up in the world. No year on this I can see easily, but Double Dragon 3, feel like that was 1990, so back in the past a little bit. I guess this is supposed to be Billy and Jimmy Lee. I don't think they wore headbands in Double Dragon 3, but hey, I will be here all day if I'm talking about Double Dragon inaccuracies. It's a little hard to tell who is supposed to be who because they're lit the same. But not a bad drawing. It's very comic booky, like underground comic booky. The shading kind of reminds me of it. I didn't find in my journey scouring through all these game magazine covers much Double Dragon coverage at all. I think there's 2 I was able to get. So that's a little disappointing. Not terrible, but it's also not great just because it's a little boring to look at visually. Just because we have like 2 main colors going. But we could have had Bonk's Revenge on the cover, or Battletoads, or the sneak previews of the latest carts from Japan, and those bad boys are back in Double Dragon 3. But they didn't know. Hell, in Double Dragon 3 on the NES, they do not look like this, like at all. So that's super inaccurate. Maybe a bit more arcade close, but whatever. We only have 1 more Double Dragon cover to go, and it's gonna be far worse than this one. So stay tuned for that. All right, GamePro can get July 1990. They can achieve licensed characters, but this is the weirdest drawing I've seen of the boys in a long, long time. What is this? Is this supposed to be one of their belts? Is it one of those like 1950s workout machines where they like just jiggle the pounds off you? Because the Raphael here, barely distinguishable from Michelangelo except for the weapons. He's a big boy. Huskyman. I don't know what this creepy texture is on their shells. That reminds me more of a shell in the ocean. And just Leo's fucking pissed. And these toenails make me really uncomfortable. Not the best. They're kind of really melding the early Mirage look where everyone sort of had the red headbands, but they're kind of doing a halfway thing here. I don't know why Donnie's just sitting hard. It's a decent pose though, like as a composition, right? Your eye flows from each turtle. The background's not terrible. The coloring and some of the details is not great. Some of the facial expressions, Raph and Mikey are fine. Donnie a little weird, and also I don't know why we need to see so close into Leo's mouth. I don't need to see what pizza he's got, but another close miss by GamePro, but I still sort of like it. I like this less. That's supposed to be Rick from Splatterhouse. What is with the orange glasses around his eyes? Terra masks don't look like that. I know we're trying to keep it away from a Jason Voorhees hockey mask as much as we can, but so rare you'd even see Splatterhouse on the cover of the magazine. Someone get Grunkle Derek on here to check this out, but the actual pose and the idea behind this, and it's rendered okay. The fingers are a little unnerving, but just the mask is just a problem. What is with this orange rim around his eyes? It's just kind of distracting, and with the big comical eyebrows, you gotta pluck those, my guy. Anyway, it's bigger and badder than ever, which was true. There's tips and tactics and passwords, and The Simpsons. Some are fun with 3 new games on 5 systems. They were all bad. They weren't the arcade game. They were all bad, so you can just disregard that. And of course, because at the time can't have actual blood on there, so the Genesis opted for like green gore, not much blood at all, so that's why that's there. It's a bizarre image just to see Splatterhouse front and center, but this is why I picked this. The eyes stared into my soul, but I can't help but laugh because of these weird orange goggles around his eyes. Sorry they did this to you, Rick. Here's another Double Dragon cover, and it's gotta be Double Dragon 5. The Shadow Fall. What is Billy doing? Can anyone tell me? He's fighting the logo? And there's a weird liquid coming the sword? He's not helping Jimmy fighting fucking Sickle. I can't even remember his name. And this curvy ass, that's the curviest street, this cul-de-sac where they've decided to fight. Video Games, the ultimate gaming magazine. I somehow doubt that. Never heard of this. And what a fucking cop. Just what are we going to call our magazine? Video Games. Fuck it. I don't want to GamePro, GameFan. Nah, man. We're just Video Games. Look at all this crap down here. Is he supposed to have been slicing a hole? Because this little weird liquid shard is kind of similar to this. Is that what it's going for? Because that's awful. So what is the situation here? Billy was cutting into a membrane around their universe, and the musculature here is just all fucked up. And you know, shoving the art on here and then putting a blue bar, I don't like that. It just gives less room for the main illustration. I think, honestly, this is the first big, like, L in all of these so far. It's just everything about it is ugly. I don't like what's going on in general. I mean, it's nice that these other things get, like, a little bit more visual identity here. Like, hey, we've got Earthworm Jim in this issue. Who would say no to that? And Super Metroid. But, you know, making Double Dragon 5 the crowning bit of your magazine is probably why I've never heard of Video Games, the Ultimate Gaming Magazine, which, again, I'm very suspect of. All right, Game Fan, Die-Hard Video Game Fan Magazine. I had a bunch of these back in the day, and in the earlier earlier issues, they had this Die-Hard Game Fan man. He's got this weird cod piece. I don't know what's going on. He is kind of bizarre. They dropped him after a while. But this situation is crazy. Let's go to Cammy's stage. She's gonna do her crouching hard kick. DJ just like, I'm here too. I'll try some shit. I don't know. A weird thing to be sure. Like, let's get 2 of the new challengers in there, but fuck the other 2. Who cares? You could have had all 4 of them beating him up, but you know, we got this nice Photoshop texture over here on the castle. Again, don't really like this sidebar that much. You don't need to list every single game you're covering, like the few major ones. But yeah, I really like Game Fan. This is certainly one of the earlier issues. I think they definitely changed some stuff, like not too long after this. So it's not great. I don't like when they throw their magazine mascots. Like, that's like having Nestor and Game Fan and Nintendo Power on the cover all the time. It's like, no, that doesn't need to be taken up. Like, we could have had more Cammy. We could have had more weird DJ crotch. We could have had any of that, but no. Like, the majority is this dude, so that's kind of a loss there. But yeah, it's not the worst, but you know, if I saw this issue in an old box somewhere in some sort of thrift store, I would not purchase it, I don't think. Hell yeah, let's fucking go. I had this issue specifically, and it's so fucking stupid. It's the best. EGM got so popular that they just decided to put out EGM 2. It's like all the other coverage of anything else. They just thought, we can put out 2 whole magazines. How are we going to get the kids? We're going to have Kintaro staring directly at them, taking a punch from Bison, stuck in this Photoshop textured nightmare of the tiniest alley in the world. They look like children, don't they? Why? Why with the 3D background? Anyway, I still think it's super charming. The actual drawings of them, especially Kintaro, they're solid. The proportions are a little off. They could be a bit bigger and less childlike. I think this is also inaccurate. It should be a yin-yang. But yeah, I had this issue until it fell apart. Like, the cover was falling off. I would read this like every couple of weeks and stuff. It had lots of fun articles, lots of, you know, Blackthorn, Bloodstorm, Echo 2. Anyway, Contra Hardcore, World Heroes 2 Jet. And this was the premiere issue of EGM 2. So this is what they felt this will sell copies. And its main article was Super Street Fighter 2 versus Mortal Kombat 2 and saying which one was better. I think, if I recall, it was a cop-out. I think they both scored the same, or maybe Mortal Kombat 2 won out a little bit. I think it's just because it was, like, you know, very, very fresh and new compared to Super Street Fighter 2 at the time. That's my memory, anyway. This is also the infamous issue where it has the ad where the actor that played Johnny Cage, Daniel Pacina, was doing the advertisement for Bloodstorm, and that's where this Win a Bloodstorm arcade machine comes from. So it's a little piece of history that way. I can't hate this, even though on a massive technical level, it's terrible. But I mean, an attempt was made, right? All right. Okay, video games is back, but I'm liking this quite a bit. What a stylistic vision of Sub-Zero kicking Kano in the face. I actually really like that. Never seen anything quite like it. Mortal bloody combat. It's got blood, crazy. Reviews, tips, and fatality moves for the SNES, Genesis, and if you want to play them, the Game Boy and Game Gear. The only thing is that I don't think it should be like just a pure white background. I think you could have had some color there. I'm not sure what the answer would actually be. Not dark colors for sure, but just white seems like a tad unfinished. So that's a step in the right direction over the Double Dragon 5 one. Still think this is way, way too busy. Like, there's a free hot tip right there. Just a code right on the cover. You don't give it away. Like, just put that in the fucking pages. Oh, and Mortal Kombat 2 and Street Fighter 2 pull out centerfold. Mortal Kombat 1, I should say. It's free! And EA's 4-way play adapter. Never heard of that. But, yeah. For so early, 1993, this is a very cool drawing of Subby and Kano. So, yeah, thumbs up here, I suppose. Yeah, EGM2 returns. This is the hottest fighting game of the year. Eternal Champion CD. They don't even have the subtitle Challenge on the Dark Side yet, so maybe it's still early. Donkey Kong Country strategy guide in there. Ooh, I want to look at that later. I've never seen this image at all of Eternal Champion, CD or the first one. But yeah, it's actually kind of cool. Not a bad cover at all. Like, you know, the Eternal one's finger just kind of blocking a bit of the entire logo of the magazine. You went hard there, I suppose. But yeah, I'd never seen these renders before. And all of the ladies, too, to get everyone buying it. You know, the amount of cleavage here is impressive. That's why he's trying to get them, I guess. Anyway, we've got Samurai Showdown 3DO, Supreme Warrior 3DO, all the classic 3DO games. This is definitely a marketing image that was, oh my god, why is Kronos down here? What? Did Kronos, the makers of God, what's the stupid shit game? Criticom. Why is their name there? Were they like hired to do like a computer rendered like graphics image for Eternal Champions? Maybe they did. Interesting. But yeah, like for one of the very few Eternal Champions covers I've ever seen, it's pretty sick looking. And this is what, probably 94, 95 maybe? Don't see a year, but yeah, 94 down here. So yeah, not bad. Really ushering in the start of 3D rendered CGI covers, isn't it? We're going to see more of that down the line. Okay. Wow, we really went hard on those logos. Did you see them? They're right here. Anyway, not a marketing image. This is not a render of Lara Croft from an official capacity, I wouldn't think. But EGM2 returns. Got Wave Race, Virtual On, Perfect Weapon, Persona. Wow. That is a very odd picture of like, is your belt buckle big enough, girl? Yo, get that checked. Face and head are kind of a little big on her body. And yeah, she's just kind of pushing in the corner here because gotta show these logos. Again, I would have made these a lot smaller, just put them on the side here and use the whole image. That's what I would have done at least. But not unpleasant to the eyes at the very least. And I don't know why they couldn't get an official picture of Lara. If this is, please correct me, but I've never seen it and it doesn't look the same as like all the classic Tomb Raider rendered art looks. But it's not the worst. I just picked it because I'm like, wow, never seen that picture of Lara before. But I like the blue and the green color scheme. It's very soothing, and the EGM2 pop. So not bad. A very big curio in Lara's history, though. Holy shit! Is this busy enough? I think it's too simple. I think it's kind of boring to look at. What is going on here? We have Chris Redfield, who seems to be in the middle of melting into a zombie, and two crows with laser eyes are sitting on his shotgun, perched, and an eyeball too. Why not? Why not have the eyeball right there? Does Killer KI2, as much as I love it, doesn't need its whole big box down there? I think you could have gotten rid of that. And just this background here, all these weird ghostly images. I don't know what's going on. It's really messy. Very messy. I don't mind if you put the sidebar at the top, though. That makes sense to me. So that's not bad. But wow, what an image. Way too much going on. I do like how it's kind of paying homage to the bizarre RE1 box art, though. I think that's what they're probably going for. I don't know if this is an official image from early Resident Evil marketing materials. It might be. Let me know if that might be the case, because I feel like it could be. But yeah, kind of a mess, but still sort of fun to see early looks at Resident Evil. Okay. There's a lot going on here. Scoop! Nintendo's 32-bit Virtual Boy hardware. We got Simba and Scorpion facing off. And of course, the gloves are off as Sonic and his weird, melty, stretchy hand is... I don't even know what it's doing with Mario's. Are they arm wrestling? This is one of the more disturbing facsimiles, I should say, of Mario I've ever seen. I do like how this cover is given a touch of class by this awesome picture of Mega Man X. That's great. Internal Champion CD again somehow gets out here. We got Super Punch-Out, Snatcher, Syndicate, and Sequest DSV. Latest Saturn PSX games. 1995 would be the most exciting year in video game history. Sega, Nintendo 3DO, and Atari revealed to us their battle plans. Not PlayStation, though. They're going nowhere. It's all about Sega versus Nintendo. Yeah, game players. I kind of was aware of this magazine, but I didn't much care for them. I don't think I ever bought an issue. But these are horrible renders, and you're covering up so much of Sonic, probably for good reason. They got to look at it and they're like, nah, it's rough. So, yeah, this is what we can expect from more 3D imagery. Maybe it was a mistake. Well, maybe 2D drawings. So they clearly looked at artwork Rare had done and butchered it, essentially. The Nintendo Magazine System is Britain's best-selling Nintendo magazine. It's nasty, KI. Ferocious 4-page feature. There's no reason for this man to be looking like this, right? I don't know what these little red clawies are. I do not think that's on him. I don't think that's on Thunder at all. This is all accurate. It has this weird tomahawk logo that he puts down there. And the text is just too much. It's covering up. We don't need the free multi-tap Dixons. We don't need number 1 for Super NES. Maybe that could stay. This needs to be smaller. This needs to be smaller. All this shit down there is crazy. You're crazy, Nintendo magazine system from Britain. But this is one of the most bizarre KI pictures I've ever seen. I don't know what's going on in a lot of it, because some of it looks pretty accurate to the in-game renders. Not in-game renders, but like marketing renders that Rare put out. But this is a big problem. Anyway. The background and the colors kind of work. It's just too busy with text. So that's kind of a thumbs down from me, but thumbs up for how pissed Thunder is. Yeah, Weapon Lord. So not the exact artist that did a lot of the Weapon Lord promotional artwork. I think that would be Simon Bisley. But it's pretty close to it. The only problem with it is that it's like just kind of an odd pose for Core to be doing. Just kind of standing there and doing something with his ass. He's inserting something. He's adjusting his belt buckle. Not really sure what's going on there, but he's not really fighting anybody. You could have just used the main image of him fighting Zarek. Would have been awesome. But the blue helps him pop on the Game Pro. Good stuff, Game Pro. We're in 95 now. This is kind of negative space to begin with, so you could have put that here. That's fine. This is getting a little busy. Do we really need to know about Supreme Warrior and Cosmic Carnage and Kasumi Ninja? Did we really? I do like how they have X-Men Mutant Apocalypse, I believe, image there. And a pro strategy guide for Donkey Kong Country. We can go ape. Get it in secret areas. Anyway, Game Pro, I think it was Game Pro and or Game Fan that were really pushing Weapon Lord, especially Game Fan, because I think someone on the Game Fan, or was it Game Pro? Might have been Game, I can't remember now. Someone, Slasher Quan, I believe, was actually on the team making Weapon Lord. I think he was doing like story stuff and instruction manual stuff. So they were really pushing it there. But really cool to see Weapon Lord on any gaming magazine. That just warms the cockles of me heart. So, all right. Okay. So, I own this magazine. We are in 98 of EGM2. Yes, it lasted that long. And this might be the worst depiction of anything ever. How is it this bad? It's one thing if Mortal Kombat had just come out and they're like, they're looking at the little picture, little digitized sprite of Goro and being like, I don't know what the fuck that looks like. And someone said, well, let's try to recreate it. And they just have this horrible render. Like everything about it is bad and uncomfortable. I do not like it. I do not like what's going on. What is with the hair? Why is this posed like this? And why are we holding an N64 logo? I feel like it was almost too barren. And they're like, we gotta put something there. And they are looking at new N64 games, I guess. But still, really bizarre. I don't mind that he's crashing out of like the cover. That's fine. I really wish they had just gone like the official render of Goro in MK4, the console versions looks fine. You really couldn't have used that? I know this is from 1998, but whoever is the person that was responsible, just fire them. Get ready for XG. What does that mean? Who is responsible for this? Fire them now. Hell yeah, we're in the PSM era, baby. And we got Scott Campbell. What was his name? Campbell? Yeah. Campbell doing the DOA girls. Iconic. Amazing. I would have killed for like a DOA American comic. That's so sick. The only thing with PSM is that they sometimes do this like weird spiky thing on the side. I never kind of liked it. It just kind of visually distracting. They are in a very plain background, but at least there's shadows. So, but maybe like a little destroyed wall, some distressing on it. That would be nice. But, can't argue with this style of comic book artwork at the time. It was, pretty hot shit. And PSM was pushing it a lot. Why? Because they were unofficial, unbiased, and unrivaled. And we're going to see quite a few more PSM covers. Like this one, but I picked it because that is the weirdest Squall I've ever seen. Now, Squall's a weird guy. No one's gonna not dispute that. And this is one of the weirdest images. Certainly went a stylized route, but he's just kind of standing there. You could have had like anybody draw him, but visually it's still a nice cover. All the colors sort of work. He pops. You can see as we move on into like, 98, 99. I think, especially by PSM, they're leading the charge in kind of really attractive covers. Again, we don't like the spikes, but at least they work here with all the colors. Electronic Gaming Monthly, meanwhile, decided that, again, what do the KI characters look like? Okay, sure, yeah, I think I can do them by memory. The Fulgor isn't bad. I don't know why these two have reversed colors. She should be green and he should be dark blue. It's kind of violet or purpley, whatever. But it's straight up wrong. right? This does kind of remind me of the artwork that was in the KI comic at the time, but like, how did you make this error? They're not those colors. And I know you could say, oh, it's their alternate colors. Shut up, right? Shut up. I think you could have just had Fulgor and maybe one other character. Oh, let's just fit Saberwolf back there. I don't know, who cares? But they do, you know, kind of stand out on the orangey cover. And the text is all nicely formatted. I think there's still a bit too much of it, and we really don't need to see the Virtual Boy. I don't know why they're still going nuts for it at this point, but yeah, another KI cover, and it's kind of another miss. There were some good ones back in the day, but I felt the need to make fun of these as they are. I wonder if Max has ever seen this. I should show it to him. Alright, Game Pro returns. So I love that it's very much just a artist drew this traditional 2D artwork, but what the fuck, my guy? What the fuck? I don't know. So Motaro is very loosely grabbing Nightwolf here with one arm. Wait. Okay, he's rearing up. His body is turned this way, the horse body, but his torso is doing a very big swing to grab Nightwolf. Is his tail wrapped around his neck, and that's why the spike of his tail is awkwardly, maybe? I think that's what they're going for. But on first glance, it just looks like his tail is awkwardly slipping in between them, in between their embrace. And I love how it's like, fuck it, just zoom in on the Motaro's MK3 background, that's good enough. A bit too much text, a bit too big, but maybe it's because you'll be forced to like look at this drawing. Like, listen, it's not bad. Back then, I certainly couldn't do better. Now I couldn't do better, but it's just such an awkward pose. Like, why can't you just have, like, uppercutting Motaro rearing down on Nightwolf, and Nightwolf's, like, you know, pulling back on his arrow or something. Like, I don't know. This is just such an awkward thing. I guess they have to figure out something that would, you know, occupy this tiny space that they have to work with, but still a little strange. It's not going to be the worst Mortal Kombat image we've ever seen. Certainly not going to be the best. Ooh, the Neo Geo CD, though. Hell yeah, this is awesome. I think this may even by the same artist. But King, a one-legged King. I don't see where else his leg is going, but you know, points for showing a King with a disability. Jumping in front a big purple wall with thousands of tiny bricks. Just, you know, giving a big old punch to Goro, who just can't handle it. What year is this? 1999. There weren't even... Like, why is he even fighting Goro? In 1999, there was no new Mortal Kombat. I guess Tekken Tag in the arcade was a thing. The Fighter's Edge double whammy. Why is it a double whammy? The Tekken Tag Tournament Part 1 and WWF Attitude. So why isn't he, like, punching out Triple H or Tra? Why is he not doing that? Oh, wait, Mortal Kombat Gold. But that's not what they're going for. They're talking about WWF Attitude. Why is King the wrestler not wrestling a fucking wrestler? Why is it Goro? That's a huge mistake. A huge faux pas. Glad Game Pro went out of business, making such a huge error. But yeah, this is a pretty iconic looking image right here. You ever thought you would live to see the day to see King doing a leaping punch straight into Goro's face, and he can barely handle it. My money's on King, I'm gonna tell you. Holy shit. Game Pro. What are you on, bro? They got that incredible Japanese artist, Harada, I think. Not Tekken Harada. I forget his name. It sorry escapes me. But he did so much sick ass virtual fighter art that is better than Virtua Fighter, in the sense of, like, you know, how it renders his characters and shows them in, like, artwork and select screens and stuff. Look at this. This is amazing. There's a lot of contrasting colors everywhere, but you can see pretty much everyone. I don't know why Akira gets a shot here and he gets a shot here, but look at Wolf, look at Kage. I think that's Jeffrey, Lion. Everyone's here from VF2, so that's fucking sick. There's not that much to complain about. I think, there's a lot of different colors going on with the text, maybe keeping it a little bit more uniform, but still, I've never seen this artwork used ever. Some fucking super chat at GamePro back in the day said, look at this. Let's just slap on there. Well, can we have one of our artists do a really awkward picture? And they're like, no, this one time, let's do it correct. And they fucking did. This is A+ right here. This is not A+ right here. Electronic Gaming Monthly strikes again. Why does Harang look like this? There's something up with that. So many teeth. So many teeth. And I don't even know about the perspective here where we're this close to Harang. His body's here. Where is Jin really standing? And it's such a weird render. It's like kind of hyper realistic with the hair. It's definitely, we don't have cool Tekken 3 art on hand, so let's just do this. And he's trying to just pull his hair out. I don't even know what's going on. I do like how it's not busy though. There's not tons of text like we've seen before. This is what I'm talking about. There's Blasto, Cruising World, Bio Freaks, House of the Dead. And yeah, it's Tekken 3, so, milestone in the Tekken franchise, but Electronic Gaming Monthly not doing great by its art style, by using this particular drawing that they must have commissioned by. You can't read that, but yeah, it's kind of a miss for me just because the rendering is so odd. The idea is fine, I suppose. The Electronic Gaming Monthly logo, though, looks like somewhat old, doesn't it? Looks like vintage. Like, it actually looks like it's back in the past a little bit. But, yeah, not the worst, but I don't think this really measures up to, like, what Tekken 3 really was and what a milestone fighting game it was. So points off for that, for sure. Ah, God, I remember this fucking cover. Why? Why does he gotta look like that? You don't look like that. You're really telling me. There's that awesome Nintendo Power cover with just the zoom in on Link's like illustrated face that was like made by Nintendo and he looks so sick. But let's just have this really awkward render with this huge negative space of his crotchal area just floating out there just for everyone. And, it hasn't been a little while since I played Ocarina of Time. I don't remember Link dislodging the sword from a meteor. I thought it was just in a pedestal. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. But the idea behind it is great. Look how minimal we're doing with the text now. Just grudge match, Warzone versus WCW NWO Revenge. Spoilers. Revenge wins that. Ocarina of Time and over 170 game reviews. That's a lot. But I had this issue growing up, and yeah, I always hated the cover, but I remember it being a sick issue. I love how Navi's here, just blocking the G of gaming, so, points for idea and intent and the overall look of this cover, I like the white Electronic Gaming Monthly, but, definite points off for this rendering of Link. It's close, but it's almost hilariously so close, but yet so far. So, yeah, not my favorite. There's been a lot better Zelda covers in the past, I feel. This is PSM not having Joe Mad on staff to do this particular one. It's close. It's not Scott or whatever his face was, Campbell. And I love how the three heroes is Morgan, Raziel, and Dude from Thrill Kill. It's just crazy to have Thrill Kill on a magazine cover when the game never even really officially came out. But yeah, it's rendered fine. It's pretty solid for what it is. It's just a really random pairing. Like, this isn't even like a named guy, torturer. I don't know, the sex master. I don't know what Thrill Kill enemies were called anymore. But yeah, it's a little awkward for Morgan because she's close to being in that style you would normally see her in, but it's a little off and like something's weird going on with her leg. Razio looks fine. Not one of the better PSM covers, I have to say. It's certainly going for what they were always certainly going for, but it just falls short of it. Oh, hell yeah. This is how to draw manga. Mortal Kombat edition. This is Game Fan, the last true video game magazine. Yeah, probably if you keep using covers like this. You know, it's very not great. Kung Lao looks fine. This is for MK Gold, so it's highlighting the new characters that were being brought back for that particular version of the game. Sector is not there, but he's more or less a secret. Just Katana is just off, and did Katana not have her mask in Mortal Kombat Gold? She doesn't have one, but Melina does. I don't remember. It's been a while since I booted up Gold. But yeah, it's I like the pink that's going on here, meshing with the tops. That's cool. It's eye-catching. But the image is just not great to me. There's a lot of shit going down here I don't even understand. Like, this feels like AI did it over here. Like, there's nothing really makes a whole lot of sense. I think if the main image was worked out a little bit, I don't think this is accurate to Cyrax's mask either. Baraka looks a little weird too, but Kung Lao is fine-ish. But considering this should be like 1999, yeah, July 1999, this is kind of a like image that feels like it's from 94 or something. So yeah, not the best Game Fan cover I've seen, not by a mile. Holy shit! Whoa! Damn! The blood! This is his Game Pro coming out swinging in 96, so this is for Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. Meet the Combat Artist. So I mean, this might have a interview with John Tobias or something. This is an incredible piece. It's a very busy cover, I'll give it that, but like the lens flare coming over Scorpion, this great action shot, this really neat, very busty version of Katana here with the arm wound. This looks ahead of its time for 96. Again, a little busy with all the text, so you're kind of losing some background details, but still an attractive cover. Man, 96, we're still calling the Ultra. You're still calling the Ultra 64, even 96. Damn. Of course, loaded. Get loaded if you so choose. Yeah, this is the high marks for this one, just because it's so painterly and well rendered and filled with action and not awkward. That's a big one. So wow, Game Pro, whoever did this, give them a raise back in 96. Oh, let's go. I'm not sure if this is by Mad. I don't see his signature anywhere. I feel like it could be. Might be. Wait. Bacalo, Downs, Towns. So yeah, it's very much in the PSM wheelhouse. Why this is incredible is because this probably has the 20 exclusive screens in Mortal Kombat Special Forces when it was awesome. When it was like a 3D, almost like Metal Gear style game, or Resident Evil where you could control Sonya or Jax and had all these cutscenes and things and it looked sick as fuck. And then they had to like cancel that version and do it over. That is a mighty Jax nipple. That has some heft to it. You know what I'm saying? But a very nice piece of art. Very indicative of the time. This is 99 and just sucks we never got this version of Special Forces. And I know it's floating out there somewhere. Someone has posted like, you know, video footage of that, but like the build never ever gets leaked, and I'm still really pissed about that. Love to play this version of it, even though it wasn't complete. But damn, look at this. This is late 90s as fuck, boy. Love this shit. The gray used here, that's an ugly color, like especially against the white. So I don't know what they're going on with that. Definitely wouldn't have used gray myself, but you know, that's a nitpick for sure. But yeah, incredible picture of Sonya and Jax here, and his nipple. Game Fan is back with a cover I've never seen before. That is a cursed Armika. That looks like I don't even know what that looks like she's from. Maybe another how to draw manga like book. Anyway, instead of using all the incredible art for Street Fighter Alpha 3 that would have been available, let's just have Red Ryu fighting Akuma. Maybe that's supposed to be evil Ryu, but fuck off. Like, you shouldn't have blue fire, his eyes aren't red and pissed, and it should be a darker color is key. Whoa, look at this Blanca. Really going hard in on the Blanca. With that said, it's nicely colored. It looks attractive in that sense, but points off for this Mika and this crazy Blanca. That looks like he's from Berserk or some shit. And the Red Ryu is really distracting. It's almost as if they were trying to do Ken, and then they're, oh, fucking no, change to Ryu. Oh, we already colored it. Change his face, I guess. But yeah, definitely a piece of Street Fighter art I've never seen in my life. This is April 1999. So yeah, Game Fan, I think for that being that late in the game, you kind of dropped the ball on the overall image here. The coloring is nice, but I don't particularly care for the poses and how the characters are rendered. So, boo on that. Game Fan returns with more how to draw manga for Turok 3. Yeah. The last great N64 game? What year is this? Let's see. No, nothing there. Yeah, I don't know. Turok 3, I think it was 2000. They still had Conquer coming out, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, there we have Adon, miscellaneous creature. Oh wait, yeah, some of the enemies did look like this. Never mind. For some reason, yeah, we have Adon and we have Kid Turok, but we don't have his more competent older sister, so that kind of sucks. I would have swapped out Adon for her, but again, bizarre look to go with. And this yellow box, don't really like that. The text is almost hard to read. It's so bright and white, but I do like this swinging weapon that Turok is using here, so that's cool. It's a nice perspective. But yeah, I don't really care for the actual image all that much. But I mean, I suppose it was, again, a sign of the times where they're kind of, mixing in an anime influence into some of the art. So that explains that. But yeah, one of those rare Turok covers. There were a few back in the day, but this is one I certainly haven't seen before, because by Turok 3, most magazines weren't really caring about that franchise, which was, to their detriment. And there we have the GOAT. We've seen, now there's been lots of Joe Mad PSM covers. I feel like I don't really need to go through all of them. I did want to highlight this one because these two characters, Joe Mad made these two characters 1,000 times cooler than they are in Final Fantasy X. No hate on Yuna in Final Fantasy X too. She's great in there, but she does not, this does not feel like her, but this is such a sick image. And Titus certainly don't feel like that. He made them look sick as fuck. Like, when you think about it, this is what, 2001, I want to say? March 01, yeah. So we're definitely getting there. We're like, yeah, you can see the quality bump up. I also really like this design. I think these kind of ridges are a lot better than the spikes before. They're not as pronounced. I find the boxes not too bad. I like all the layering. This is a solid ass cover. And of course, as we all know, Onimusha kicks butt. So, yeah, a goated cover for sure. We can't go through all the Joe Mad masterworks he made, but I definitely wanted to highlight this one. And this one, because he nailed Raziel and his weird crotchal region. But yeah, this is hot as hell. Kane is here. Screens, info, and strategy inside. It's a little weird to say Kane is here when, you know, Legacy of Kane Soul Reaver, I guess. But, I mean, it's Raziel you have on the front. Maybe that's a mistake. I'm not sure. The pink and the greenish yellow, that looks a little off to me. But, like, look at this fucking image. So sick. Like, no wonder, like, PSM was so known for its covers around this time period. This should be 99? March 1999, yeah. But look at him. Look at him. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Yeah, I never really had many PSM issues just because at the time I did not own a PlayStation 1 or 2 at that time, but I would still like look at the covers and flip through at the magazine store and stuff. So always be attracted by these covers. Like they did their job, and I would buy one or two every so often just if I thought there were games in there that interested me, or they were like crossover, like they were all available in the N64 as well, so I'd kind of do that. But yeah, had to give a shout out to another Joe Mad cover. I have to give a shout out to GamePro. With this. Listen, the Mario's not bad. Hard to fuck up Kirby, so you didn't. But this Link, this Saturday morning Link, that's being generous. This this bootleg Pikachu, and I don't know what's going on with this DK. There's something we're seeing right up there. Why would they choose that? And this nice picture of Ryu just, you know, hanging out from Alpha 3. This is terrible up here. You can barely read this. This whole box there. The red on the gold, really? And it's like, honestly, like for Nintendo's most iconic characters, you know, especially this is what, 1999? Like this should be a better image for all of them. Like Mario is maybe passable, but it's still egregious what they did with the other three. So yeah, a little rough there. And this is the 10 years of GamePro celebratory magazine. And yeah, they didn't really do that any justice. So kind of not going out with a bang, but with a whimper on this fucking... Where's his sword? Just cover it up. It doesn't even come out the other side, and you can barely read this text. This one's a mess. R.I.P. GamePro, I guess. Anyway, that is the game magazines I have for you guys today. If you'd like to nominate some ones that you remember from your childhood, or look to specific game magazine like series, like a particular one that you read growing up that I may not have covered or touched before, certainly got to think there's a bunch of weird things in the UK that I didn't really touch upon. Do let me know in the comments below, or head on over to my Blue Sky account to give me your nominations, because I'd love to do this again. I just noticed his shield is wrong too. Anyway, that is it from me, and I will see you again doing more magazine goofiness in the Flophouse.
1, 2, 3, 4, find the beat back.